Good afternoon and welcome to English Storytime with Mark. I'm Mark. Welcome. Today we're going to be reading a story by the English science fiction writer H.G. Wells called The Star. So, as always, I hope this will inspire you to read the actual story. H.G. Wells was an amazing science fiction writer and in some ways was the father of science fiction writing as we know it today. So let's see what this story is all about. The Star by H.G. Wells. One cold December night, astronomers at observatories around the world noticed something strange in the sky. A new bright object had appeared near Neptune, the farthest planet in our solar system. At first, it was just a tiny speck of light, barely visible through telescopes. But as the days passed, it grew larger and brighter. Scientists carefully studied it with their best instruments. They soon realized that this was not a comet or an asteroid. It was something far more dangerous, a burning ball of gas, a newborn star that had suddenly appeared in the depths of space. Even more troubling, it was moving fast. At first, the public paid little attention. The newspapers wrote a few short articles about the new star, but most people didn't care. Life on Earth continued as usual. People went to work, ate dinner with their families, and prepared for the new year. But the astronomers were not at ease. They calculated the star's path and found something alarming. It was moving toward the sun, and as it did, it was also coming closer to Earth. Meetings were held in universities and scientific institutions. Experts checked and rechecked the calculations. Could this be true? Could this star really be on a collision course with Earth? The more they studied it, the more certain they became. The star would pass dangerously close to the planet. Still, most people didn't believe the warnings. The newspapers continued to joke about the event. "A New Year's firework from the heavens," one headline read. "Astronomers say no need to worry," another headline said. But as the days passed, the star grew brighter. It was now visible at dusk, like a second planet in the evening sky. Strange things began to happen. The weather changed suddenly. Unusual storms formed out of nowhere. Ocean tides rose higher than normal, flooding some coastal areas. Animals became restless, and birds flew in strange patterns. By the middle of January, the star had become the brightest object in the night sky. It had developed a tail of fire, like a comet. It was no longer a distant speck, it was a blazing ball of light. Now people were afraid. Religious leaders called it a sign from the heavens. Some claimed it was a warning from the gods, signaling the end of the world. Crowds gathered in churches, temples, and mosques, praying for salvation. Others, in fear and desperation, abandoned their homes and fled to the mountains, hoping to escape disaster. Meanwhile, scientists worked tirelessly to predict exactly what would happen. Some believed the star would miss Earth by a safe distance. Others feared it would come too close. If that happened, the heat from the star could melt the polar ice caps, causing massive floods. It could trigger earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. The world could change forever. As the star continued its journey, it passed near Jupiter first. The giant planet's powerful gravity pulled on the star, altering its path slightly. For a moment, astronomers hoped this might save Earth. Perhaps the star would be redirected. But no, the star continued moving toward the sun. By early February, night had almost disappeared. The star was so bright that even at midnight, the world was bathed in a strange, ghostly light. People could not sleep. The heat increased. Crops withered in the fields. Rivers dried up. Then disaster struck. On February 9th, the star reached its closest point to Earth. The ice at the North and South poles melted rapidly, sending massive waves crashing onto the shore of every continent. Coastal cities disappeared beneath the water. Islands vanished. At the same time, powerful earthquakes shook the land. Mountains collapsed. Great cracks opened in the ground, swallowing buildings and roads. Volcanoes erupted, sending ash and smoke into the sky. Fires spread across forests and cities alike. The world was in chaos. Millions died and millions more fled from the destruction. Governments collapsed. In some places, people turned against each other, fighting for food and shelter. In others, they came together, helping one another survive. And then, just as suddenly as it had come, the star moved past Earth. The heat faded. The sky darkened again. The oceans, though still high, became calm. But Earth had changed. The land was different. Some countries had disappeared under the water, while new islands had risen from the sea. Entire cities were gone, wiped away by floods and fire. As the survivors looked up at the sky, they saw that the star was no longer moving toward them. It was heading toward the sun. In the weeks that followed, the world tried to recover. People mourned the dead, rebuilt their homes, and searched for loved ones. Some believed the event had been a punishment, while others saw it as a natural disaster, something the universe had thrown at them without reason. Meanwhile, astronomers continued their work. When they looked at the sun through their telescopes, they saw something incredible. The star had not disappeared. It had joined the sun, becoming part of it. The solar system had changed forever. Far away, on the planet Mars, intelligent creatures had watched the disaster unfold. They had seen the bright star approach Earth. They had observed the floods, the earthquakes, the fires, and they had made careful notes. To them, Earth had always been a strange place, so full of life, so fragile, yet so unpredictable. They watched as humans, small and weak compared to the forces of the universe, fought to survive. They watched as the world changed, as civilizations crumbled and rebuilt themselves. And in their own way, they admired the people of Earth. For despite everything, humanity had survived, and life would go on. The end. So that was The Star by H.G. Wells. I hope it will inspire you to discover more of his works. That is it for now. Thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.